Sorry, my potato wasn't on. Welcome back to Sawdust and Soil. I'm here with my helper, Ashley, today, who's actually around to help out. Ashley, what are we going to be doing today?
I think we're going to collect some poo.
Chicken poo. Do you know what the white stuff is in chicken poo?
No, what is it?
It's chicken poo too. But today we're going to be building a chicken poo chute, gather up some of that good old garden guano, and yeah, follow along and we'll get started on that.
Awesome. Let's do it.
All right, one of the first things we got to do is undo what we done did when we done it.
Nice. Let's undo it.
I'm going to be doing a little bit of voiceover work here over these boring parts. I sped it up a little bit so you could kind of see what was going on. And yeah, I've never done a voiceover before, but I wanted to try it. So you're going to just have to listen to my beautiful voice. It probably sounds like nails on a chalkboard. But the biggest reason that we wanted to do this was a lot of our manure was going to waste. You know, the chickens would get on the perch and all their droppings would fall to the ground, and then they'd get down and kick it around and kick it out. And we would, gather some of it, but we lost a good deal of it. So we just want to make something that makes it a little easier to gather that stuff up and get it into the compost pile and have it ready for spring to go into the garden, put that nitrogen back into the soil. So yeah, we're just improvising it. We don't have a lot to work with to do it. We're just doing the best we can with what we have to work with. What I'm building it out of is just leftover scraps from other projects and stuff. I don't throw anything away. I keep, if it's 2 foot long, I keep it, and we're going to use it in some way, form, or fashion. If it's a 2x4, 2x6, 2x8, anything like that, I'm going to save it, even if I have to rip it down. I save all the crooked lumber and the knotty boards and stuff. All right, now that we got all that mess out of the way, it's time to put something back that's going to hold our chute. You could probably tell I'm not going to bother with using a level or a square or anything to try to level things up. Everything that I made this out of is pretty janky and crooked, so I'm just going to go with that theme and make it work. I mean, it's just for chickens. It's not in somebody's living room or anything around here. Nothing has to be pretty. It just needs to be functional. Ashley makes a pretty good helper. It's nice to be able to work on these projects together. It's been just that time of year, our schedules aren't lining up very well. It's dark most of the time by the time she gets home. And yeah, anytime we have a day to where we can actually be together to work on some of these projects, we take a full advantage of it. We love doing this kind of stuff together. It's nice to have a helping hand. A lot of times I'm working on this kind of stuff by myself, and just having that extra pair of hands around makes a huge difference. Just handing screws and stuff like that, that's a game changer. It makes all the difference in the world. And of course, she's gonna always be messing around behind my back, and we give each other a hard time. It just makes the project more fun and keeps life interesting. And right here, I'm just trying my best to cut a straight line through the chicken wire. It's kind of hard to cut circles into some sort of shape that makes sense, but I'm using my geometry skills to do the best I can. The piece of metal that we're going to be using is just something we pulled off of an old project. I've used quite a bit of it in the garden, and it's just the perfect shape for this. It's already, it's nice and flat on the bottom and has those side walls to make kind of a chute, and that'll just give something for that manure to collect in and make it a little easier to gather up later. we tried to make sure that we left a little bit on each side. The one side is a little shorter so that you can get over there to it and work on it and, you know, slide your scoop through. And the other side sticking out far enough to hang over the edge of the wheelbarrow so that you can gather the stuff without it being a big hassle or anything. But I didn't want it sticking out so far that, you know, I'd catch my forehead on it every time I went to mow the grass beside it, because I do that enough as it is. And I know I got a hard head, but it bruises easy. And I actually wound up running out of screws like a dum-dum. I didn't pick any up while I was in town, so I had to pull the old trusty nail gun out and put it to work and waste some of those high-dollar nails. Yeah, I love that, but it's all right. It made the project go pretty quick. You know, a couple of shots here, a couple of shots there, and everything was coming together pretty quickly. We're trying to make sure that we put our roosting perches positioned in such a way that where, you know, the chickens are actually over the top of the chute when they're up there at night. We're going to lose some, you know, if they're facing the wrong way. They'll drop some on the ground, but for the most part, they face toward the east side of the property, the way they get up on the perch at night. So that means that their hind end will be positioned over the chute, and just all that manure is just going to collect in the chute through the night, and it's probably going to be a lot, because I mean, you got to figure how many hours they spend up there on that perch just sitting there doing their business. And it's going to be nice having that little extra boost of nitrogen to go into that compost for the spring. And what we're doing here, we're putting some chicken wire over the top of the chute, and that's going to keep the chickens from sitting in it and scratching around and messing things up. You don't want them getting up there kicking it all out and stuff, so that's going to keep them out of it to make it to where it'll pile up to where we can collect it in the future. All right, what we came up with here is a giant poop scoop spatula, and we're just going to use that to clean that chute out. All right, let me show you what we have here. We have this metal chute slide looking thingy, and we reinvented our roosting perches so that their butts will be over this ramp a little bit. And we also put some chicken wire down here so that they don't get down there scratching in it and stuff, so that it'll actually gather up and we can collect it about once a week and start adding it to the compost to put some nitrogen back into the garden. So we'll do an update tonight, see how things look once they get on this perch. Hello, ladies. Everybody all huddled together. Seem to be fitting on the coop perch pretty well. Are you adding to the poop pile? Not yet, but you will. That's cool. All right, good job. All right, guys, I think that's gonna pretty much wrap it up. I think it turned out pretty good. It's not really pretty, but it's for chicken poop, so I don't guess it's supposed to be pretty. I do think it's gonna make our lives a little bit easier, keep some of that manure from going to waste, make it easier to gather and put into the garden and put into the compost in the coming spring. Not really a step-by-step tutorial, but maybe you got an idea or two of how to make your life a little bit easier along the way. And hope you enjoyed watching, and we'll just catch you next time.